Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today you know what's going to happen. It's the Europa League Final against Roma, and we follow it up with our last Premier League game of the season against Chelsea. The league game is a huge game. Obviously, Europa League Final has our full attention right now, but this is the league table. So Newcastle won the FA Cup, but they've already qualified for the Champions League. So another European spot goes into the league phase. Now we cannot finish in the top four now. Chelsea beat Tottenham last time out, and as such, they've opened up a gap that is big enough to confirm their Champions League spot. However, from our point of view, if we can beat Chelsea, we have an opportunity of going ahead of Tottenham and Manchester City and Liverpool, in fact, depending on what the other games are like. Liverpool are away against Crystal Palace, Manchester City are at home against Fulham, and Tottenham are actually away against Arsenal. That's a huge match because that could define whether Arsenal win the league title or not. That's a massive game. So we do have an opportunity. We have to win against Chelsea, though. That's the thing. We have to do our bit. Plenty of big games in there. Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, and ourselves. And then at the bottom of the league, Southampton, Burnley, and Palace, between the three of them, could all get relegated depending on how the results go. Burnley are away against Sheffield United, so that's quite a winnable game for Burnley, to be fair. Palace, of course, are at home to Liverpool. Massive match, that one, for both sides. And Southampton are away at Brentford. So, again, a potential winnable game for Southampton, despite Brentford's early season form. They have dropped down the pecking order, but there's some big games out there today. Well, up and coming in the final Premier League game of the season. But our focus turns to this Europa League final. If we win here, it doesn't matter what happens against Chelsea. This is the match that we need to win. It's a huge game for us. We have rotated a little bit purely because we've had to because of fitness concerns. I don't really fancy having Gluck in there, to be honest. I think to be fair, I'd rather have Guilherme play ahead of Gluck. Gluck isn't even fully fit. We'll have Medina on the left, and we've just got to go out there and do what we can. Roma's squad is stacked with talent as well. It's going to be a very tough game, this one. But I'm praying that we can get off to a quick start. Leandro Borussia is the one to look out for. I mean, yes, they've got good attacking talent and they're quite strong defensively. A couple of England internationals there in Livramento and Dorrington. But Leandro Borussia, a regen striker, he is really top quality. We did have a look at trying to get him at one point before. This is while we were at Mönchengladbach. We just could never get the finances to deal with it. And we go out there today hoping to come back with our first major trophy of the series. It's going to be a huge ask, this is, but we have an opportunity. Can we find a way here? We've had the first attempt at goals. That's something. It wasn't on target, but we are part way there. Cook here with a free kick. Swings it into the penalty area. And Youngblood, oh my word, it's off the crossbar. That's a huge chance. We've actually got Sonogo up front today as well. Almada is fully fit, but Sonogo could drop back into that attacking midfield role as well, of course. So we have got options. Guilherme here with a free kick. Whips it in, and it's hit the woodwork again. And Suzuki manages to recover and make the claim. We hit the crossbar twice in the opening 20 minutes. We're showing really good signs, but we need a goal. It seems an obvious thing to say, but we need to get on the score sheet. Youngblood has picked up a yellow card. That is the last thing I want to see. And Roma yet to have an attempt at goal. Gunnar Duath has also picked up a yellow card for Roma. We've dominated proceedings, and this happened against Newcastle in the FA Cup semi-final, of course, and then they just went and scored with their only attempt on target. We've been the dominant side. Can we find a way to get ourselves on the score sheet here in this second half? I will make changes. I'm not afraid to make the changes if necessary. Guilherme here with a corner. Whips it into the near post. It's cleared by Dorrington. Dixon into Medina. Finds Guilherme in space. Guilherme into the penalty area. Gets the shot away. It's safe from Suzuki. Medina picks it up. Can't get the ball back into the penalty area. It's a big, big chance again. And now Maturo here with a throw into Ficagna. Back to Maturo. Ficagna. Brucia. Into Gorna. Now Livramento. Correa manages to clear, but it's only as far as Dorrington. We can't get out here. And Brucia's in, and that is a big, big miss. That's their first real effort at goal. And it's a big, big miss, that one. I'm going to pause there. And Youngblood is going to come off. We'll drop Sonogo back. We'll get Almada on up front. And the nerves are jingling a bit here. We're playing well, though. We are the better side. Hadjo is struggling a little bit for fitness. I don't really want to be taking him off at the moment. I'll leave him on a little bit longer. We have got Capelli on the bench as well, so he's the kind of player that we could bring on. Medina and Guilherme are now shattered as well. Yalvaloso with a delivery toward the far post, and it's headed just over the crossbar. We're going to demand more, and we are going to make a few more changes. Hadjo is going to come off for Capelli. I don't really want to be bringing off our key players, but I think I'm going to have to be honest. I mean, Gluck, he's only just back to some kind of fitness. We'll get him onto that right-hand side. Medina has struggled a bit today as well. Going to have to bring him off as well, I think. Oh, dearie me, this is... it's proving to be quite difficult in terms of making the decisions at the minute. We need the energy in midfield, really, don't we? Nathan Cook, he's done what he can. We're going to get Siles on for him in the midfield. We'll leave it at that for now. We've got fresh legs on. Can we get a goal? We've dominated again. Roma haven't even had a shot on target. We're going to drop some encouragement. Come on. Can we find a goal here? We deserve to win this match. We've been the dominant force. Sonogo's struggling. Dowell's going to come on for him. Potentially Livramento to Legowski. Back to Livramento. I really don't want it to happen like this again. Medina into Sonogo. We're into added time. We're into the 92nd minute now. Sonogo, Oscar Gluck. Can he get the ball in? Almada! That's the goal that we've been waiting for. Right at the very end of the match. Here in the Europa League Final. A 92nd minute winner from our youngster, Nawel Almada. What a performance. I mean, we've dominated the game. Oscar Gluck managing to just about get there, and Almada was there with the finish. Roma probably, I mean, it's been coming, the goal. Roma haven't had a shot on target, but we have qualified for the Champions League here by winning the Europa League final. We've got there in the end. My word. I mean, we left it late, didn't we? That takes so much pressure off of that game against Chelsea. We have qualified for the Champions League. There is the lifting of the trophy. We have won the Europa League. That is a big, big performance from us to get the win. And it also means that a few of the players will drop their concerns of the fact that we didn't qualify for the Champions League. We've only gone and done it now thanks to winning the Europa League. It's our first major trophy of Sunday League to Champions League this year. I mean, it was a phenomenal performance, but it took all game to get the goal. We've managed it. We've achieved our target of qualifying for the Champions League. I'm not sure how, but we have. And that is a huge relief. But it does, and it probably secures my future here at Manchester United as well. Because obviously that does qualify us for the Champions League. So we've done what we needed to do in that manner. And oh, what a way to do it. We've finally managed to get a major trophy. And it's come, albeit at the team I don't particularly, I dislike them the most. But we've got there in the end. We've won a major trophy here at Manchester United. The Europa League is ours, and we can build from here. We've qualified for the Champions League. There's the confirmation. And the board have given us £33.5 million and a £4.9 million a week wage budget, which is mental, really, because they were on £6.5 million of wages before I arrived at the start of this season. Not a lot of money to spend, but it doesn't really matter. To be quite honest, I can't see us needing to do too much business. Oscar Gluck doesn't want to leave, neither does Biner, neither does Medina, because we are in the Champions League. We've got a couple of days to go until the Chelsea game, so bear with me. We'll come back for that one. And like I say, the pressure is off now. We've done what we needed to do. And hopefully we can just push up the table one or two places for Premier League winning money. Okay, guys, here we go for the game away against Chelsea. We've already qualified for the Champions League. The pressure is off for this one. But we do want to get as high in the league as possible. We've got an opportunity to finish fifth. If Tottenham, Manchester City, and Liverpool all drop points, we've got an opportunity to finish as high as fifth place, and that would be a really good achievement considering where we've been for most of the season. And eighth place is the highest we've been all season as well. So we've really got to focus in on this game. Yes, Champions League is qualified, but going into today's match, we have an opportunity to get as much money as possible in the bank for our Premier League finish. Tottenham against Arsenal, massive game there for the league title. Newcastle are at home against bottom club and relegated side Wolves. So where the league title is concerned, it's all to play for. And where relegation is concerned, it's also all to play for. Palace, Burnley and Southampton all could go down. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye on Manchester City, Liverpool, and the Tottenham game as well. But we'll be keeping an eye on all of the games that have something to play for. So going into this match, like I say, full strength lineup, but we don't really have to worry about anything. And it's just a case of get in, get the match done, and hopefully we get a win and continue the good run that we've had at the end of the season, the unbeaten run that we've had at the end of the season, of course, apart from, like I say, that league game and the FA Cup game against Newcastle. But, I think in the end, obviously we've won a major trophy, and it has been a good season. But if we hadn't had such a slow start, could we have had more? This is the question now, isn't it? But we'll take what we've had, and hopefully we can get off to a good finish for this season. Seshko, of course, is up front for Chelsea today. Our former player, we sold him to them for £70 million, there or thereabouts. He wanted to leave, and that was that. And Parisi into Payet. It's a very controlled start from Chelsea here, and I fear that we could be overstepping our mark a bit. But Dixon here managing to intercept quite well, finding Almada. Now Romano into Oscar Gluck, and now Dixon into Hadjo, and now Cook. Plays it forward, Sonogo in behind, and that's a really good save from Popper. I think going into next season, Gluck, of course, is a player that might end up leaving. He's happy to stay at the club now, but we might let him go. As Hadjo on the edge of the penalty area couldn't quite find Romano, and Chelsea get it clear. I think a goalkeeper might be something that we have to look into. But again, financially, we haven't really got a lot in behind us at the moment. If Gluck leaves, I think a left winger could be something that we look at as well, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. Other than that, I'm quite happy with the squad. The balance of the squad is actually very good, I think, now. And now that we've got players that are happy at the club, that could make all the difference. As Chelsea miss a very gilt-edged opportunity there through Seshko. Tottenham have picked up a big injury there to Silva, but it remains 0-0 in that game. Manchester City still at 0-0. Liverpool are at one apiece against Crystal Palace. So obviously Palace with plenty to play for as well. Romano here with a corner, swings it into the near post. We do manage to get it away. Medina, what a lovely strike from Medina. That is a phenomenal finish from him. We take the lead here against Chelsea. And that is a huge goal for us, really. I mean, it's a phenomenal finish. Dixon just laying it off to him, touch out of his feet, outside of the right foot, into the top corner. What a lovely, lovely goal that was from Medina. And we have an advantage here. Burnley are losing at the moment in their match. I didn't see the Southampton game. Medina with a strike, well blocked by the defender. But it comes straight back to them. As things stand, we go up to 6th place. And Oscar Gluck is there, and that is a big miss. Popper making a comfortable save in the end. But we're playing well. It's a sign of things to come, hopefully, for next season. Medina with a delivery off the corner. Romeo Lavia, with the clearance. Cook picks it up. Lofts it down the left-hand side into Medina. It's good control from him. Plays it inside to Romano. Got space on the edge of the penalty area for Hadjo, and now Cook. Just holds on to it. Got space on this right-hand side if he can find it. Capelli into Hadjo. Now Biner on this right-hand side into Medina. Oh, what an effort that was. And Popper, again, with a very good save. Just able to tip it over the crossbar. What a goal that would have been as well. Medina's really got the bit between his teeth here. Swings it in again, and it's another good save from Popper. This time, I think it was Almada who had the header, and it was very well kept out by the keeper. But we've really started the second half just as brightly as we did the first. And again, it's whipped in. Dixon couldn't get there. Medina picks it up into Dixon and now Cook. And again, we're dominating Chelsea here. But at 1-0, we can't afford any silly mistakes. Hadjo with the pass out to Medina, who switches the play. Oscar Gluck couldn't beat Gavin Moth to it. And now Lavia into Payeth. And Payeth misses the target. So I thought that was going to be a goal out for Chelsea, to be honest. We are going to have to make some changes, I think, at some point. Arsenal and Tottenham still at 0-0. Newcastle lead at the moment as well. And that's a huge, as things stand, that is massive because it means that Newcastle will win the Premier League. And I'm trying to see the other score, the other goals and everything at the minute, and it's just not happening. Sheffield United beating Burnley quite comfortably, so it's not looking too good for them at the moment. But I've still not seen the Southampton game. I'm just going to pause it for a minute just so that we can try and see what's going on in the other games. Newcastle 3-1 up against Wolves. Burnley are losing. Manchester City are now winning. So unfortunately, that does go against us a little bit. Liverpool and Palace are level at 2-2. Southampton are getting battered by Brentford. So Southampton are going to be relegated. Arsenal lead. A 73rd minute goal from Timber has put Arsenal in front against Spurs. As things stand, Arsenal will win the title. In terms of the actual Premier League table now, as things stand, because Arsenal are winning and Liverpool are only drawing with Crystal Palace, as things stand, we'll actually go up to 6th. We'll remain behind Manchester City, but things are going a little bit in our favour. God, we're absolutely shattered, aren't we? We're going to have to make some changes here. We'll get Youngblood on, we'll get Guilherme on as well. Medina's absolutely out on his feet, as is Nathan Cook. We'll get Correa on as well in at centre-back. And we'll take Romano off for Rippis as well. And that'll be our 5 substitutions. We'll leave the league table on there at the moment. Rippis into Siles, and now Dixon into Capelli. Now Correa. That's a nice pass. Capelli into Guilherme, into Capelli again. We're moving the ball about a little bit better here now that we've got the energy. Back into the side. Youngblood into Almada at the far post. It's 2-0, and that rubber stamps our victory here. We've had a really good end to the season, especially with the wins against Brentford and Everton. Big under pressure victories for us. And we have done the same here by the looks of things against Chelsea. Almada with the header. Popper, he's had an excellent game in goal for Chelsea today, but he couldn't keep it out. And we are looking pretty good here to finish as high as 6th place, which, given the way that we played in the first half of the season, I am extremely pleased with that. As Youngblood charges through the centre of the defence and Popper again making a good save. I was just about to have a look at the table again, but another highlight comes pretty quickly. And Capelli into Siles, back to Capelli. Siles again, Guilherme picks it up into Beinert, into Guilherme, chance for three, and there it is. Luis Guilherme. I'm hoping he's onside. What a season he's had, by the way. That would be his 19th of the season if it stands. But he's also had 19 assists, 38 goal contributions he's had this season. Unfortunately, it's been disallowed. But another phenomenal performance from him. We'll just have a look at the latest scores again. Liverpool and Crystal Palace are still at 2 apiece. Arsenal are actually 2-0 up and they've missed a penalty. So Arsenal's title is pretty much secure now. I would like to see the other scores, but it's not loading them for whatever reason. And we have managed to do the job. And in the end, we've had quite a successful season. Despite everything, we have managed to do extremely well. Here is Lavia into James, Velada into Gabriel Veiga, and now Perth coming down this left-hand side, trying to get the opportunity to strike, and he did well in the end, and Whitbread managing to tip it over the crossbar. We've actually just dropped down to 7th, I think, by the looks of it, as Leon Reshaj has pulled one back here for Chelsea. Well, no, he hasn't. It's been disallowed. I'm not too sure what exactly happened there. I think there was an offside. Liverpool have scored a late winner against Crystal Palace. So unfortunately, it does drop us down the table a little bit. Youngblood here to Correa. Now Dixon. Into Youngblood. Now Capelli. Into Almada. Couldn't quite find the pass. Lavia back to Fafana. Now Qual. Parisi into Vega. And now Perth. Plays it into Sesko. And he scores on his return against us, Benjamin Sesko. Bit of a shame, really. We'd not massively deserved to concede, but we've done the job. We've got the victory in the end, despite that late goal from Chelsea. And we can be very pleased with what we've achieved in the end. It's been a very difficult season. We've been under pressure so many times in general from the board as well. And unfortunately, a 92nd minute winner for Liverpool meant that we pushed down to 7th place. It's a bit of a shame. I was hoping we could finish in top 6. But we have still qualified for the Champions League, like I say, thanks to that Europa League victory. Newcastle did what they could against Wolves. Southampton have been relegated from the Premier League with Leicester and Wolves as well. And Arsenal have won the Premier League. Newcastle, Everton and Chelsea, the other teams qualifying for the Champions League. And there might be a little bit more of a spread in relation to how the European qualifications work. Because like I say, obviously with us winning the Europa League, we've got 5 teams in the Champions League, but Tottenham could have still qualified for Europe, even in 8th place. So be an interesting one to see that one. But we've done what we needed to do. A really good second half of the season. And we prepare ourselves for a Champions League campaign next year. I mean, when you compare the first half of the season to the second half, I mean, yes, the European games with the Carabao Cup as well really did help matters for us, really. But the first half of the season, we were so poor. I mean, we lost against teams that we shouldn't have done, the likes of Fulham for a start. I mean, we had a really good run of games in October, good run of results there. But then we lost against Watford, West Ham, Brentford and Everton we lost against as well. And I mean, at the start of January, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace, we lost against all 3 of them in the Premier League. That was the toughest run that we've had, as tough a run as we've had, really. And after February, we only lost the 1 Premier League game, which was against Newcastle, and the FA Cup game also against Newcastle. So, I mean, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 in 25 games there in all competitions, we lost 2. That's the kind of form that we need to go into next season with. And hopefully we can have a very successful season next year and build on from where we've left off. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.